Poslednji, 7. panel nosi naziv Industrija 5.0. Kako napraviti digitalnu fabriku? U poslednjih 10 godina svet je doživeo veliku digitalnu transformaciju. Mašinsko učenje, big data, veštačka inteligencija, Internet of Things, cloud, data science. Naši sjajni panelisti podelit će sa vama kako da primenimo nova digitalna znanja i napravimo digitalnu fabriku. This is the last panel and we will continue on English. Our moderator will be Milica Stjepanovic, Head of Consulting, Management Center Belgrade. Now, I will invite our panelists to join us on the stage. Ksenija Karić, Country General Manager, Schneider Electric. Srđan Karić, ekspert za telekomunikacije i poslovni razvoj. Dr. Arso Vukičević, viši naučni saradnik, Fakultet inženjerskih nauka Kragujevac. Nemanja Ognjanović, direktor sektora za kor i tehnološku strategiju Telekom Srbija. Erwin van der Kar, Manufacturing Director, Continental-a.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final panel of today's conference. So as my colleague has mentioned, the topic of this panel is Industry 5.0. And before we start with this panel, I would like my panelists to introduce themselves. So we can start with ladies. Ksenia, can you introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about yourself and about the company that you're coming from?
Working, yes, okay. Hello to all. So, as they mentioned, so I'm Ksenija Karić, General Manager of Schneider Electric in Serbia. I've been leading this company for 2.5 years now already. Before that, 16 years with energy sector. Schneider is quite big. We have very big operations in Serbia, so we have more than 1,000 employees. We have R&D center here in Serbia, producing software for ADMS and other softwares now already. And we are operating in Serbia already 20 years, so we are a proud member. And I'm sorry to say we don't have a plant here for production, but we are producing the software here.
Thank you, Ksenia. Srđan?
Dobar dan svima, moje ime je Srđan Radić, 23 godine u oblasti telekomunikacija, sada kao consulting u istoj toj oblasti.
Thank you, Srđan. Arso?
Hi, I'm Arso. I'm a research scientist at the University of Kongres. Last 10 years I did research on national European projects on the topic varying from biomedical to industrial engineering and recently in applications in manufacturing and automotive industries, particularly in artificial intelligence.
Nemanja?
Hello, my name is Nemanja Ognjanović. I'm in charge of core and technological strategy department in Telekom Srbija. I've been there for like 17 years at different positions. And you probably all know about Telekom Srbija, a fixed mobile operator in Serbia. I'll try to elaborate a little on from the service industry perspective, or telco service industry perspective. I'll try to contribute to this discussion, even though we are not a manufacturer.
Okay, and Edwin?
Thank you. Happy to be here. My name is Edwin van der Kar. I'm born and raised in Holland. I just 2 weeks ago had my 20 years anniversary in Continental, of which I had 13 in Spain, 3 in China, 4 in Brazil, and just now in March this year I joined the team here. I'm very happy to be here. We do have manufacturing here. We're setting up what is most likely going to be actually the biggest continental automotive manufacturing location on the planet. And we're doing that here in Serbia, so here in Novi Sad. So very exciting times, happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So As we said, the topic of this panel is Industry 5.0. So before we start with the Industry 5.0, let's see what the previous industries were. So we had Industry 1.0, which was all about mechanization and steam. Then Industry 2.0 was about mass production and electricity. 3 was about electronics, IT and automation. Industry 4.0 was a recent one, and it was about cyber-physical systems such as smart production supported by powerful technologies, mainly IT. So with Industry 5.0 we have an interesting definition, which is machine meets human for intelligent, customer-led automation. How would you define this Industry 5.0? Can you give us some examples? What does it mean that machine meets human for intelligent, customer-led automation?
So, yes, as you mentioned, so that was the timeline and where we are today. So I can tell you a lot of examples from Schneider Industry. As you know, we are producing electrical equipment and softwares. So we are really walking the talk also what is about our production. So we are transforming all our factories into smart factories. So we are defining what are the Industry 4.0, what is Industry 5.0. We are implementing the solutions. And we are actually not building greenfields, we are transforming our plants. Up till now, in the last 7 or 8 years, we can transform 7 smart factories. 4 of them already received the badge of Lighthouse, and they were also implemented on the UN conference. All the plants are sustainable, so we are also implementing overall sustainable portfolio, what we can define as a sustainable core values and KPIs for plants. Of course, we are implementing our solutions in our plants, and we are automating, digitally designing the plants. One of the examples is very close by in Bulgaria, Plovdiv. This is a full automated plant of Schneider, and it's very interesting because we are really saving a lot of costs, and we are really showing return of investment much faster than it was like 2-3 years ago, especially now with the electricity bills are going up, and not only electricity, the gas, the water, everything goes up. So all the investments which we are discussing 10 years ago, I would say, when you come to the plant and you talk about optimization project, you would say, okay, the return on investment is, you need at least 10 years. Now this is up to 2 and 3 years. And we are really trying to build all our plants now and to transform all our plants to be sustainable in that sense that we are building solar panels on the roofs, we have heat pumps inside, we are monitoring our energy consumption, we are also implementing predictive maintenance in all our plants. So yes, I would say that Schneider is really in that sense in 5.0.
Thank you, Ksenia, for the long insight. Can we hear something from our colleagues who are not from production? Srečan, would you like to share what Industry 5.0 means to you?
Ovako, ako kažemo da je industrializacijom, odnosno 4.0 industrija krenula 2011. godine inicirana od strane Nemačke i da je to bila dehumanizacija faktički industrije. Industrija 5.0 je redehumanizacija automatizacije. Ponovo se traži učešće čoveka u procesu automatizacije. I to je nešto što u ovom trenutku se svi mi nalazimo, koliko god mi pokušali da uvedemo automatizaciju, automatizacija je dobra, jeste za masovne kroz ove upotrebe i za nešto što se mnogo ponavlja, ali uvek imamo ono što kažemo tailor made, šta je sa korisnikom koji traži specijalne neke uslove ili nešto što je krojeno po njemu samom. Tu automatizacija jednostavno ne može da odigra svoju ulogu, a u 5.0 industriji imate još jedan jako bitan podatak, odnosno komponentu. To je sakupljanje mnogo velikog broja podataka i ponašanja ljudi u upotrebi nekih dobara ili u nekoj proizvodnji. To sad treba sve, tu veliku big data treba izanalizirati i prilagoditi krajnjem korisniku. Ja očekujem da će u industriji 6.0 doći do potpunog gubitka faktički ljudi u masovnom nekom obliku, jer ćete imati veštačku inteligenciju koja će iz industrije 5.0 faktički izvući ponašanje i sa tim ponašanjem će onda neke mašine u budućnosti upravljati nama i ka tome se ide. Vi svi, recimo u industriji telekomunikacija, nećemo pomenuti koji operateri i šta, ali vi svi imate neke profile koje otvarate i svi ti profili se otvaraju na vaše imena. Imate mnogo tih profila na različitim platformama. Jedna od tih platforma je recimo gledanje televizije. Ili primjer u telekomunikacijama vi imate sada da otvorite vaš profil i vi sa vašim profilom se identifikujete. I tu se prati vaše ponašanje u gledanju recimo televizije. I vi kad gledate televiziju, pokazujete šta sve volite da gledate, šta pratite, šta ne želite da pratite. Na osnovu vas će se krojiti putem veštačke inteligencije tačne reklame koje će se vama plasirati. Pa ukoliko vaša supruga voli kozmetiku, volite neke stvari, fashion i ostalo, njoj će se plasirati te reklame, a za muškarce će ići neki drugi proizvodi. I to je već ulazak u tu veštačku inteligenciju i prikupljanje velikih podataka. To se trenutno sada radi. Vi imate velike naprave po pitanju banaka i sad već kad uđete u naše domaće banke, već polako imate sve manje i manje ljudi u bankama, zato što vas očekuju neke mašine ispred toga. I sve upućuju na mašine, da bi te mašine mogle da jednostavno odrade posao onaj koji je radio za čovek. Ali kad krenete da pričate nešto specifično u vezi banke, da pitate, vi imate mali broj ljudi koji će vam dati sada te neke odgovore na to. Tako da, mislim da 5.0 industrija je trenutni status u kome se sad nalazimo, a vidjet ćemo šta će biti za buduće.
Hvala Srđane na detaljnom objašnjenju industrije 5.0. So we have one question from the audience now, and the question is, does lean implementation in your companies consider carbon footprint, and how does it affect your products? So maybe Adrian, we can start with you.
Can you just repeat the question?
So the question is, does lean implementation in your company consider carbon footprint, and how does it affect your products?
Good question. Yeah, we all care about sustainability, and of course, yes, the initiatives mentioned before, no need to repeat. I'm just happy to see that we're all working on the environment, sustainable improvements. The lean itself, this is important, I think, to catch on that one. It's not only anymore about just automating and the more and the bigger the better. No, we should never lose out of eyesight actually the lean. The lean means, if you ask different people, different understanding, but in my view it just means invest exactly that what you need at the right time. So moving further away from the industry 3.0, we had the very heavy industry. We were setting up projects years in advance. This by doing it lean, by actually making it scalable and then investing later in industrializing only that what you need by then, is also again a contribution to sustainability. Don't industrialize too early, don't industrialize too heavy. Yeah.
Okay, and what about reporting? Do you report on emissions, SDGs, and similar? I think the question was directed in that direction as well.
We do, and I think many of the bigger corporations, in the first place because we want to contribute, of course, to the environment, but it's also a given that in the future only customers will want to work with sustainable providers, right? So yes, we do this. We have it in our program Zero Emission Free up to the year of 2050. Long way to go still, but working hard on it. And yes.
Thank you. So I have one question for Nemanja now. So willingly or not, the Serbian economy follows the global trends. And what do you think, at what level is the Serbian economy in terms of Industry 5.0 and digitalization in general? So what about your company? Do you have any good practical examples from our Serbian environment?
I would say actually that this is one of the aspects that where we are quite aligned with global trends. For example, many companies, I saw that in the Serbian Statistics Office, like almost all companies have website and have internet connectivity. It's impossible to work without that. 1/3 of companies offer their services or goods through online channels, which I think is a good sign of digitalization. And also I read an information yesterday, it was in newspapers, that our consumers or customers, they increased the number of dinar transactions that they spent online for about 40% in the first 6 months compared to the previous year. And this number equals the total 2020. So it's growing. We will have probably double by the end of this year. So I think it's here and people accept these trends, and it was boosted a little bit during the pandemics or at the start of pandemics, because people switched to online as much as they could. In case of Telekom Srbija, we tried to switch our business to online. Of course, all services, customer complaints and everything is available through our online channels. This is one aspect of all of that. The other aspect is our internal processes. We try to introduce and use many softwares that help us in our daily work. Some of them are based on AI. For example, those that do predictive maintenance. When we say predictive maintenance, it means softwares that detect potential issue on the network and they inform the engineers or do some automatic activity which will solve this problem before it occurs and the customers notice that. Another example from our company, we have this software called Workforce Management, and our field force get their jobs automatically on their smartphones. They click when they accept the job, then the time is being measured. When they complete it, it's being measured as their internal KPI, which is later used for some stimulations. Of course, we got rid of as much as possible paperwork or anything that cannot be replaced by software. I must say that the number of customers that switch to online to use this opportunity that we offer is still quite low. It's about 4% of our for example, payment is done through online. People, for some reason, are still used to go to the post office and pay. Maybe it makes them more secure to do this. But the options are there, and it's actually a big change in the last couple of years. That's why I say I think we are quite aligned with the global trends. Just the numbers still have to catch up.
Thank you. So I have one question for Arso. So we have heard about a lot of these new buzzwords, I would say. So can you take one of the words, such as artificial intelligence, big data, deep learning, cloud computing, Internet of Things, etc., and can you give us some of the examples of applications of these terms?
Yes, regarding the previous topic, there was one research 1 or 2 years before, which said if you rate your company from 1 to 4, regarding the 4 is fourth industrial revolution, where is your company? On a scale 1, 2, or 3, or now 5. So the average in manufacturing was like 2.5 or so. So if you ask yourself, are there augmented reality in your company? Are robots doing all the stuff? No. So there is a lot more stuff to do, and I agree with the colleague that explained well that now the effort is to put artificial intelligence, robots, and computers in general to work along the humans. So the answer to the question is basically that these topics, which are actually research topics, are evolving, very fast, and there are basically a lot of disciplines where I don't see a sharp edge between, machine learning and deep learning, artificial intelligence, computer science, or mathematics at its basics. So, to provide answer, I would explain the definition of artificial intelligence, which is basically to learn machine to do something without explicitly coding or programming what to do. So contrary to previous automation, you need to code some robot to go left, right, and so you need to let the machine to learn or to mimic something with each human kind way of doing stuff or behaving.
So basically we are teaching machines how to be humans, right?
Yes, in general, how to mimic the way you do the job.
Okay, thank you. So we have a lot of questions from the audience. So I will start with this question. We were speaking about data gathering as a future and what we would need to know, what is the problem in order to interpret data in the way that suits us. But what about security of data? How in your companies Lean helps to protect the data? Xenia, can you give us examples of data security within the company?
Yes, cybersecurity is of course one of the main issues that we are facing today, not only in managing in BMS or in power management softwares or in any software which is in the plant, since we're talking about production here mostly. But nowadays there are so many studies what we can implement in our companies and really to locate the risks and monitor them. And of course there is always a risk, but there are so many tools and software we can help us to be informed, or at least to know in advance what will happen and when the cyber attack will happen. But we are living in very, I would say, changing world, how we are doing, we have, in Europe we have a war, so I'm sure that every plant manager here is aware of this risk and is doing everything to prevent this. So, but also on the other side, of the building management system, of course, or any commercial or trade mall or mall building, there is also possibility of attack, or banks, of course, telecommunication data centers. So in every industry there is a serious risk, but we need to prevent this and we need to monitor and gather all the risks to know where we are.
Thank you. So we have one question from Srđan. The question is in Serbian, so I will read it in Serbian. Da li korištenje AI za usmeravanje pažnje kupca ne vodi cenzuri i odstupanje od principa da je kupac centar naših aktivnosti?
Ovako, ja bih se prvo nadovezao na ovo što je Ksenija rekla na prethodno pitanje. Svi mi idemo ka toj digitalizaciji. I, ok, treba ići u tu digitalizaciju, ali nismo svesni jedne činjenice. Digitalizacijom se, ako gledamo sa strane kompanije, kompanija otvara ka nekim zloupotrebama, a sa druge strane moramo da zaštitimo i tog potencijalnog korisnika naših usluga, jer i on isto digitalizovan, moramo i njega da zaštitimo. I mislim da je jako bitan faktor cyber security, jer ste mnogo ranjiviji sada kad ste digitalizovani nego kad ste bili ranije. Ranije možda se desi da možete nađete ugovor, ne možete nađete papir. Ali u ovoj digitalizaciji masovnih brojki i nečega što želite komunicirati sa masovnim tržištem, dešavaju se i ona druga strana, ona crna strana koja želi da borba dobrog i zlog. Svi oni koji razmišljaju suprotno od vas gledaju kako da vas napadnu, kako da vas obore, kako da vam traže novac. Vi sad imate veliki broj, ne znam da koliko ste informisani, tih cyber napada gde su kompanije direktno ugrožene, gde se kompanije direktno uslovljavaju novčanim sredstvima koje treba da budu isplaćene u bitcoinima i tako dalje, da bi oni povratili kompletno poslovanje jedne kompanije. I mnogi krenu u digitalizaciju i kažu ajmo digitalizacija, sprovedu digitalizaciju, ali onda zaborave taj deo cyber security-a. I onda ste imali skoro napadi na naše banke, imali ste napade i na RGZ, imali ste napade na ostale kompanije koje jednostavno nisu brinuli o tom delu. A operateri koji su nosioci digitalizacije uopšte u jednoj državi, oni moraju da brinu o svojoj mreži i tako kroz tu mrežu da se ne napadnu krajnji korisnici ili od strane korisnika da dođe do mreže. I oni ih dosta rade i dosta su to napredili, ali jednostavno mislim da je to jako bitna komponenta. Što se tiče veštačke inteligencije, veštačka inteligencija je pravljena na osnovu nas. Mi smo ti koji pravimo tu veštačku inteligenciju. Samo je taj ljudski faktor koji kreira tu naše velike podatke i koji usmerava u onom smeru u kome odgovara nekome. Da li kompanijama ili u nečijem interesu. Ako nečiji interes da nešto proda više komada, verovatno će nešto biti drugačije konfigurisano. Koliko je manje, onda manje. I tu je sada onaj smer i ko će nam krojiti uopšte cijelo razmišljanje u budućnosti i nove mlade generacije koje dolazi, kako oni razmišljaju, u kom smeru će razmišljati i tako dalje.
Thank you. So I have one question for Edwin and Ksenia regarding the factories. So we have mentioned smart factories. So what does a smart factory actually mean? So what are the benefits of turning a classic factory into a smart one? And is it possible to create a smart service organization and not just a physical product organization? So Edwin, would you like to share with us what smart factory is?
It's a good question for Ian. That can have a very long answer. I'll try to summarize. So the digital factory, I mean, you have so many digitalization aspects in so many different directions. I'll give you one example. It took us always many years to develop production lines. These things, they get more and more complex over the years. We have less and less time to do it. How do we bring out digitalization in all of this? We technically already designed a complete line, so it already exists in a complete virtual world. We can actually already digitally produce with it, we can optimize it even before it exists. We can program it already, so by the time that we're actually building up the line, the PLC programmers or the PC programmers are already working on it. All of that, not only to cope with all of these challenges that we all have with lack of materials, so we have less time, but also development times are getting shorter. It also avoids many failures, because I mean, it still happen, it will happen digitally, so the cost is very low. And there is only one single aspect of everything which you can digitalize in the factory. And now connecting it with the people, what I really like a lot is, for me, this is the difference between the 4.0 and the 5.0, is when, with the 4.0 we were lean and we always wanted to industrialize, automate, but somehow we lost a bit more the connection there with the people. And I think now, and this is for me, the difference between the 4.0 and the 5.0, is that we finally come to understand that we will not automate with zero operator, not our intention, just not the optimum balance, but we should take better into account our people. So from engineer to operator, and link also that part with digitalization, where you can just say, just as many of our admin people nowadays have a very flexible work schedule. Why could our operators not have that? Why could there not immediately exist an app where they say, hey, tomorrow instead of the morning shift, I want to work in the afternoon shift. So many initiatives are ongoing. And I've trust also with our colleague companies here in the regions. I'm happy to hear this. And still, many ideas on the table that also still need to be industrialized. So a long way to go. I hope it answers the question.
So we have one question from the audience that is linked directly to this one. So what is the future of average high school educated worker in 5.0 industry? Ksenia, maybe you can answer this question. Is the evolution going to completely erase middle-class society?
Interesting question. I cannot comment. I can tell you my own opinion. I don't have any statistic behind, but I have my own opinion, of course. Yes, some positions and some job titles will disappear, but new will come. So new positions and new job profiles and new, I would say, even the MBA and university, they will have to adapt also for this new digitalized society and industry where we're going to live. I would also like to point out what Ed said. We have what smart factory that really means. We have reference with, for example, AstraZeneca, when they decided about the vaccine and COVID and all the rest. So why AstraZeneca got this Oxford prescription to produce? Because AstraZeneca, this plant, which was chosen by Oxford, was fully automated and digitalized. So they cut from 8 to 10 years of inventing the vaccine to the period of 8 months. So you can imagine how much, as has been said, so these digital twins, what we are creating, so now you can produce all production process, which is going to be, and visualize it, and to find all the risks of this production line, and to optimize also this. So I would say this is already present time for us, today's time. Of course, COVID helped us all to go in this hybrid model of working, working from home without any issue. So I have, in Schneider, we have 700 developers working as before. They don't come to office, so they come once a week. So, but still the ratio of what they produce and how much code they do for the 5 days a week is as it was before. So I would say that we are already digitalized and we are already in this smart factory modes. We have solutions, we have products, we have equipment, and we just need to adapt the people, and of course we need to work a lot with universities, especially in eastern part of Europe, and new degrees for the new Industry 5.0.
Thank you, Ksenia. So I saw we have one question from the audience. Can I just ask Michael?
No, I don't need. I think everyone heard me. Quick question. AI is a very hot topic these days, and but I think that a lot of people is using it very loosely and lightly. For example, most of the AI terms that are using is basically just some algorithms, too many if loops, and using machine learning. So probably Mr. Arso can answer because he gave the definition. What is your opinion about how many people are really using the correct term AI and really using the AI as it's defined?
I get the question, but I really will not care about the definition because I'm in a topic like 10 years more, and personally I don't use these terms. The point is to understand the problem and to have the background, to know what to solve, and to be able to do what you call the critical thinking, to select the right tool to solve the right problem. So in terms of what definition, or do you call it machine learning or AI? So basically from literature, it is just how these definitions are structured.
Yeah, but machine learning is something which is defined by algorithms, and AI by definition should be something that could evolve by itself, not directed by human.
Actually, I avoid to correct you. So, machine learning is the part of AI, and then machine learning has some subdivisions and subdivisions and subdivisions. So instead of learning the theory, it's better to learn by doing it. So, as I told you, it's better to understand what type of problems you can solve by AI or machine learning or computer science, and then to understand what type of algorithms you need to use. So At the core, it's computer science, and at the core, it's so math.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from the audience? I have one that you sent to us, so this will be Emilio for you. So, what are the negative sides of digitalization? Does digitalization lead us to a bright future or not?
Actually, I don't see many negative sides, somebody mentioned this, how to say, workforce shortage, or actually it's not the right term. People are afraid of losing jobs because of this change that happened. In case of our industry, for example, you can never replace a field force worker with a computer. Somebody has to come to your house and bring the fiber optic cable. Then again, somebody has to take care of all this software. Software is doing something automatically, make decisions, make predictions, but then when a bug occurs or an upgrade has to be done, that's again, there is a human that must do that. So digitalization and automation and AI help us a lot. People are still there. Sometimes you need to talk to an operator to explain your problems. I think people shouldn't be afraid. They just have to be ready to adapt, to get to learn about new things, to be ready to change. And this way we can learn to live together with technology. Honestly, I wouldn't be so afraid. I also read an interesting research was done about how many millennials or Generation Z are afraid of losing job due to automation, and like 95% of them are ready to do that. They're ready for their job to be replaced by the machine. They want to work smarter and not harder. They want to do some other things. But I would say I don't know. I cannot find any negative outcome of digitalization, honestly.
So it is a bright future for us.
I would say so.
Okay, thank you. So we have another question. Xenia, maybe you can answer this one. So how do you begin factory digitalization? What are the steps?
It's a long process. So first of all, you need to create this atmosphere and the strategy for to going in the process, and then it depends on the business. It depends what you produce and how automatized is your production, or you need to upskill people. You need, of course, management to be in that strategy, to be with you in that path. It takes time. Of course, all the digitalization projects are lasting years or months or even more than that, but it's a strategy and it's a concept, and if it's accepted by all stakeholders involved, then I don't see any problems in implementing it. We have a lot of production facilities in Serbia which are already digitalized, and really we have a lot of plants which have predictive maintenance inside, with power management, SCADA, with very advanced building management system when they can operate from the phone and utilize. So I would say that Serbia is on the right track. Now these prices of electricity are helping us because the investments are turning back much faster. But of course, you need to have all these prerequisites. If you have it, then the process will be very smooth, I would say.
Thank you. And for the end, I have a question for all of our panelists. So we have seen that the changes are big, both in the world and in the companies. Can you give us an overview of 3 key trends you have noticed that are affecting your company? Edwin, maybe we can start with you.
Very high level, I think mega factories is what we're going to see more and more. We will not stop with industrializing. We call it 4.0, 5.0 automatization. And of course our subject of today, the digitalization and the continuous improvement, the Kaizen.
In our case, I would say the first very important trend that we noticed is that people started perceiving communication as a commodity. They want to have the fastest internet everywhere at the cheapest price, and they want to have it like zero touch, as we call it. This is one trend that we need to address. They don't want to wait both for the service or for the complaint in case it must be addressed. The second trend in this context is the huge growth of IoT devices, and the sensors or machines become equivalent to smartphones, and we need to deal with them on the network side to provide latency, capacity, throughput, whatever is needed for those machines to work as they should. And as the third trend, maybe I could mention some new business models that we need to offer to especially to enterprises, to business customers. We cannot be slow. We have to adapt to their requests and try to offer something new, like mobile private networks, for example, or tomorrow, I don't know, 5G with its implications.
Thank you. Asa?
Yeah. I'm not working at manufacturing, but at research, so I noticed some parallels. What is going well? This is to have multiple supplementary skills, like the people here that, for example, do education and math, and then become great in management or finance, or being able to understand what is coming through, like artificial intelligence. So multidisciplinary research and multidisciplinary products are future. So that's my conclusion.
Ja bih se složio sa Nemanjom da treba se prave novi biznis modeli, pošto će se industrija drastično promeniti, pogotovo uvođenjem 5G i 6G. To nije ništa novo za nas, samo se priča i mislimo da je 5G nešto novo, a 5G je samo faktički ubrzana komunikacija između mašina i nekih drugih mašina. To nas neće jednostavno doticati. Sa upotrebom i ubrzanjem brzina između tih mašina mi ćemo dobiti autonomiju od vozila do ostalih stvari koje koristimo u svakodnevnom životu. Ovdje je bitno samo da se ljudi i kadrovi što pre priviknu na nove uslove poslovanja i da budu dovoljno edukovani da proprate kompletnu tu digitalizaciju. U tom smeru naša država je dobro krenula. IT kancelarija je već sa servisima, odnosno i COVID je tu dosta pomogao, ponudila brojne servise za građanstvo, gde svaki građanin sad može putem nekih elektronskih formulara, sad će uskoro se uvode i elektronski potpisi i pečati, da sve to jednostavno bude ubrzano i da ne gubite silno vreme u kompletnom tom procesu. Što se tiče same infrastrukture, državni operator Telekom Srbije je jako dobro odradio svoju infrastrukturu, takođe učestvuje u velikim projektima oko rurala, gde bi trebalo svako selo da dobije faktički optički internet, i to je dobra podloga za nešto što mi očekujemo u budućnosti, a to je ta potpuna digitalizacija. Za vašu informaciju, recimo, država Nemačka je manje infrastrukturno pokrivena sa optikom nego naša država. Tako da, po tom pitanju, mi smo i dosta napredovali, mi smo svega, mislim, već deseti u Evropi po digitalizaciji i uvođenju digitalnih servisa.
From my side, coming from energy sector, I would say the three mega trends when we need to address are to electrify, to digitalize, to decarbonize. So these are three trends, I think, for all attenders here that need to be implemented in each and every company and plant, and with that we can follow the industry movements.
Thank you. I would like to ask you for a round of applause for our great panelists. And we are finishing our today's Congress with this panel. Thank you all for the attendance.